Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today's video is all about my visit to Warlord Games, where I got to see behind the scenes. I literally went through the warehouse, got to speak to some of the designers and the crafters of all the games that you see produced by this company. I got to see the actual mold makers producing the models, how all the factory works, meet some fantastic people, also meet some fantastic other content creators as well. So join me in this video as I talk and show off all of this cool, awesome stuff. So the first area they took us was basically to the design area. And in this design area, we got to meet people like the sculptors, the painters, people who work in like the publication, doing all the articles and stuff on the website. We got to sit down, we got to ask them questions. They were showing us like models that they've sculpted, models that they've painted. We got to ask them questions about how you painted that, how you did that. Really all the cool things. A really nice look in behind the scenes on how they do their model process and how they actually, take on their work. Now, the cool thing about this office where they took us first is that it's just full of cabinets, and inside of those cabinets are like all the products that Warlord Games do. Everything from like black powder all the way to bolt action, conflict 47, some like more sci-fi stuff like Judge Dredd. And for me, seeing this for the first time, I was just in wonder. Like I was literally just in there going through each cabinet, looking at it all. And when you see this stuff on the website, it doesn't really do it justice until you see it in person. I was like, oh my god, I want to do some black powder stuff, the British, maybe some French, maybe some Prussians and everything like that. I got to see some of the brand new bolt action models that have not been released yet. That was in like its own cabinet. They asked us not to film that or put any of that online and stuff, but it is what it is, right? We got to see it in person, so that's just as good as it is. But it was a really nice, cool look behind the scenes and getting to sit down with like the actual designers and getting to ask them questions. You don't really see that anymore from these big model companies. So it's nice that these chaps are still down to earth and they let people in to ask these type of questions. Now, one of the funniest areas a part of all of this was actually the resin room. And when I say resin room, this is where they basically do the resin molds. And this was a really cool look into just the process of it all. As someone who's never really dabbled in like how models are made and stuff, it's really interesting, like all like the master molds and what mix you have to do and how long you have to let it cool for. You need the right temperatures so this doesn't go wrong and that doesn't go wrong. It was just a great look behind the scenes on how all these models are made. There's so much effort, there's so much craft that goes into these models. Like sometimes you forget to think that you just go into a shop, you buy it, and then you go home and you paint it and put it on a base and play with it. Like all this effort that goes into these models. And the chaps who are putting on this display, again, 10 out of 10 for Warlord. If you can, promote them. Promote him to the senior of managements because they explained it fantastically. They let everyone see the process. They explained it all to any questions. People who were like, oh, how does that work? How does this work? And they were just fantastic with everyone who was in that room just looking on how this process has been made. Like, again, this is such a mind-boggling experience for taking someone in a studio into a production area and showing how their products are made. It's absolutely fantastic. And before we actually left the area as well, they allowed us to go through the resin bin, like all like models that had failed the casting and stuff like that, and some slips and stuff which they weren't happy with. They were like, go in there, take what you want. If you want to do like epic exploding tanks on the battlefield, then there you go. There's like a tank chassis for you to play with, which again was absolutely fantastic. A company giving away products for free. It's not been heard of before. And this was the same for the metal production and their plastic production, which is not fully plastic, if I remember right. It's called Sciocast, which is basically like it uses recyclable material, which again is great for the environment. Now, with the metal stuff, they literally showed us like how they do it with the metal. They put it in like this machine, they spin it around and stuff, or like the red hot metal goes in, it cools down and it makes the metals. With like the Sciocast stuff, it's more like this big machine that compresses it all and makes it. and I actually got to make some of the models. Like, I made a batch of models, and a lot of people will laugh at this, but the batch of models that I got to make, and I'm sure they did this on purpose, they absolutely scammed me. So it was just like a random number. I pressed go, it came down, it came out, and then they showed me the models, and it was a bunch of French cavalry. So technically, I have just reinforced the French in the Napoleonic Wars. Bloody hell, the British will be coming for me. I love it. I just want to reiterate that the entire process of looking behind the curtain, let's say, being taken around by these members of staff was absolutely 10 out of 10. Warlord, you smashed it out of the park with that. For me, someone who's never seen these processes before, it really does open my eyes. And every single staff member I met, from the production team doing the casting to the production team packing away the models and stuff like that, they were all so friendly, so nice, and they were just answered any questions that you had. The entire day, to be fair, was probably one of the best days I've had as someone who collects models, as someone who's been to wargaming events. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there was a bunch of content creators there. I got to meet Peacher. I fought him in the car park, DDT'd him through a windscreen of a car. He won't be walking anytime soon. I got to see Pete the Wargamer. I said hello to him. Actually, he bent down and his face was right in my crotch at one point, which, Pete, you know, if you want to go there, there's a certain tier of membership you have to supply on my channel to reach that goal. And also, I got to meet Mordian Glory, and I got to play him in a bat rep with the brand new edition of Bolt Action. You can go and watch that over on his channel. I may be putting a version of it on my channel. I'm not too sure right at this moment in time, but it's out there right now, and you can see how me, a noob, took on a veteran player. Let's just say, right, do never underestimate your foe. Mordian has learned that the hard way. But all in all, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic, great day out. I got to meet some great people. Shout out to Woodimp, who basically got me involved in all this and who I met on the day and who was walking around with me saying, hey, look at this, look at that and stuff like that. He's an incredible guy. He's also got a channel over on YouTube you should go and subscribe to. But yeah, it was just a great day. It was a great atmosphere, meeting loads of new people, talking about all these brand new games, seeing people play games and stuff, just people enjoying themselves in the hobby that they all love. I can't wait for the next open day. I can't wait to do more events around Warlord products. Like, it's inspired me now to get back into the hobby side of things. I've been a bit just lazy really when it comes to my hobbying, but yeah, I'm back and I love it. I just love seeing the things that have been put in front of me. Bolt Action is just one of the games I'm involved in right now. I want to get into Black Powder and do like a British force and stuff like that around the Napoleonic times. I've got friends like, well, if you do that, I'll do the Prussians and stuff and we can reenact Waterloo. So yeah, there's some mad things that hopefully are going to be happening on this channel. I know Warlord Games is the main centerfold at the moment, but there's a lot more content that I'm going to be covering on this channel. Maybe some of the old world stuff for Warhammer, some of the more fantasy stuff. Everything that is sci-fi is probably going to stay on my Chapter Master Valrak channel. But for Valrak Gaming, we're going deep and it's going to be hard, just like you chaps like it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, anything like that at all, post it down below and we can have a nice little chin wag down there as we always do. See you now. Have a great day and bye-bye.